going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls related video referring to some of the news and updates about the Chicago Bulls that just happened right before the Hawks game, and it's something that I didn't really have enough time to discuss, but nevertheless I'm here ready to talk about it now, ladies and gentlemen, and just to give my 2 cents on the situation. And we could potentially be discussing also things that haven't happened yet that I'm quite concerned about. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls current stage in terms of their winning streak. This is the first time in 4 years that we've had a 5-game winning streak, which is a very positive sign for the Chicago Bulls. It is sunshines and rainbows and butterflies. It's almost like a perfect world for the Chicago Bulls. But with that being said, there are quite a few things to talk about today. First things first, let's talk about another player that has entered health and safety protocols, and his name is Marko. He's a very interesting player. Obviously, he doesn't get a lot of game time on the Chicago Bulls, but nevertheless, he ended up getting this virus and is now sitting at home in health and safety protocols. He's someone that has raw potential in terms of the offensive end. We don't really know what he can be on the defensive end, but all things considered, I think there's a lot of people that still kind of believe in Marko, and hopefully he has an opportunity somewhere down the line to show what he can do for the team. But again, it's very difficult to see what he does when there's not enough game time presented for him. Even in the G League, it's just a very hard time for Marko at the moment. And I think this is a very long-term process for him. But nevertheless, this is about his health and safety protocols. Him obviously getting the virus. So get well soon to Marko. Hopefully everything is all good for that situation and he can come back again, probably ready to play, maybe get some emergency minutes, whatever the case may be down the line. He's someone that I do like, but obviously he might just not be ready for that stage of the NBA at the moment. So we're just going to have to wait and see and be patient until he ends up being ready for that moment and he can come out and show what he can do for the Chicago Bulls. That is a very, I guess, it's not necessarily the biggest blow, but it's a blow because, again, we are starting to see pretty much everybody that hasn't been in protocols now enter protocols. I believe the only person that has not been in health and safety protocols at the moment for this team is a player that we recently signed, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, and Tyler Cook. Now, I have a feeling Tyler Cook will eventually go into protocols. It's just a prediction, I guess you could say, because we versed the Atlanta Hawks that have an outbreak within their team, and it clearly looks like the Chicago Bulls outbreak, I guess, is not necessarily finished because there are a couple of players on this team that haven't got it yet. But hopefully, again, after we see the finalized finalization of everybody in health and safety protocols, again, Alex Caruso, someone else that hasn't been in there necessarily, but he's been out for injury. So once he comes back, I'm sure he's potentially in danger of that as well, which will be very, very upsetting. But nevertheless, we just got to keep pushing forward and keep moving on. And again, when Marko does end up coming out of health and safety protocols, there's just one less person to worry about in the future if everything goes well in health and safety protocols. The next thing I want to talk about is that the Chicago Bulls actually signed another player. Now, of course, this is the hardship exemption. It's a 10-day contract. It's a very surprising player. I didn't expect us to go after him. But obviously, when you have, I guess, Lonzo, Alfonso, Tony Bradley, Marko all out from health and safety protocols, and I'm sure I'm missing somebody else as well, I usually do, it's a very hard predicament to put yourself in. But you do have to make these signings to try and build up the numbers again. And of course, when you have a lot of players in protocols, you got to make up for it in other ways. Ersan Ilyasova is the one that I'm forgetting about. So ladies and gentlemen, who did we sign? We signed a player that we did draft. We signed a player that we traded away to the Golden State Warriors. We signed a player that I didn't even think had a great relationship with the Chicago Bulls, but nevertheless, he's here now, and his name is Jordan Bell. Jordan Bell is a very interesting player. Again, he's a big man, obviously. It looks like we are going for another big man on the team. But again, he is a player that is going to be entering this team. Potentially, maybe, who knows, gets an opportunity at the center position. He's an okay type of player, in my opinion. He's not anything I would say that's drastically special. But it's very interesting to know that we did sign this player in terms of the draft. We drafted him, we traded him away, and a couple years later, he's back on this team. It's a very interesting interesting situation for Jordan Bell. But nevertheless, he's someone that, again, when he was on the Golden State Warriors, a lot of people did rate him. A lot of people rated him defensively. A lot of people saw very good potential in him. Maybe things haven't gone the way of Jordan Bell at times, but again, all it takes is one opportunity or one team to show what he can do for any sort of team in the NBA. It takes one opportunity, and what you've seen with the majority of the other teams around the league now is that they are getting 10-day contract options for players to go out and prove themselves. For example, Lance Stephenson is playing for the Atlanta Hawks right now. Isaiah Thomas played for the Lakers and is currently playing for the Dallas Mavericks. Brandon Knight is playing as well. I can't remember what team he was playing for, but Brandon Knight is in this league at the moment, and he obviously recently entered health and safety protocols. There are a bunch of players that older players, I guess you could say, or players that are kind of fallen out of the league, get opportunities in this league again, and Jordan Bell is one of those players that is fallen out of the league and has an opportunity to bounce back and try and prove himself to any NBA team that could give him an opportunity. It's a very interesting topic of conversation, and we're going to have to wait and see how Jordan Bell goes with this opportunity. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this situation. But moving on to something else that I'm very worried about. I wouldn't say very worried about, because of course things can change in a matter of minutes in terms of this situation. There has been no recent updates on Alex Caruso. Again, he's someone that was supposed to be reassessed between 7 and 10 days, and I believe according to this time period it's around the 7 to 10 day mark. So we should be hearing a lot about Alex Caruso very soon, and whether or not he'll be ready to play for the Chicago Bulls anytime soon. So I'm not overly worried, but I thought I'd bring it to your attention just so you know the type of situation that Alex Caruso and the Chicago Bulls are currently in, and whether or not we'll see any updates very soon for Alex Caruso. My guess is that we will eventually see an update on Mr. Caruso. But again, it's all about just waiting and seeing. As I always say, it's my favorite saying, just wait and see what happens. And also, just to keep your eyes on social media. Again, other YouTubers, Twitter, Bulls news sources, anywhere you possibly can, just to see the update on Alex Caruso, as there's been no official update on him at the moment, and we're getting to that time period where he should be reevaluated. And then obviously once that turns out to be the case and we do get him reevaluated, we'll know in due time whether it's a little bit longer that he's out or maybe he is back and ready to play. We'll wait and see. Obviously we've got a game up against the Pacers in a couple of days. This is the perfect time to see whether or not he can play or not. We'll wait and see. All I could say, just wait and see. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts, obviously, about Marko entering health and safety protocols, Jordan Bell signing for the Chicago Bulls on a 10-day hardship exemption, and let me know your thoughts about Alex Caruso. Currently no news about him, and something that I'm definitely worried about. Nevertheless, I'll see you all in another Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care.